Deception Decode, and we're back after a couple days off. And I have a very important video today. So today, I'm going to be talking about the 2020 Fauci ouchies. I'm not sure what I can say exactly. I think I can say injections. I feel like I've said that, so maybe I'll just refer to them as injections. So, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and how that plays a role, or could play a role, I should say, with the whole digital ID system that's being rolled out. TikTok, as always, this video will be for entertainment purposes only. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to like, share, and follow because you never want to miss anything. So let's get into it. Nanotechnology used in the injections from 2020, particularly lipid nanoparticles LNPs for mRNA delivery, was primarily designed for efficient and targeted delivery of genetic material to cells to stimulate an immune response. However, the underlying principles of nanotechnology, such as precise targeting, biocompatibility, and the ability to carry and release payloads, have broader applications beyond what they were intended for. These capabilities could potentially be adapted for other medical purposes, including early detection of health problems. So now, where I'm going with this is, they acted like the injections was only meant to stop that 2020 thing that we all remember so well. But in reality, it was a new technology that was being rolled out and being inserted into about 80% of people on Earth. And it turns out that this technology can be used to potentially help identify when you have a medical problem. Very interesting because, I had previously heard about the digital IDs. Right now it's just about like your identification. But even as I, read in my last video for the digital IDs in Mexico, they're already starting to include more biology type stuff with it, like your fingerprints and stuff, like they've already said, so it's like it's a slippery slope. So for instance, nanomaterials are already being explored for rapid diagnostic tools, including point of care tests and biosensors capable of detecting viral antigens or biomarkers associated with diseases. The same nanoparticle platforms used in the injections could be re-engineered to carry diagnostic agents or imaging molecules that identify pathological conditions such as inflammation, cancer, or neurological disorders by binding to specific biomarkers in the body. In theory, if integrated with digital identity systems, such nanosensors could transmit real-time health data to secure digital health records, enabling continuous monitoring and early intervention. And it sounds good on the surface level. It sounds good, being able to identify medical problems early or right when they're happening without having, necessarily, to have a doctor be the one to find out, if you have technology in you that can determine that. But it's a slippery slope where, how much control does this technology have? If it can identify problems in the body, could it maybe cause a problem in the body intentionally, if you catch my drift where I'm going? But anyway, moreover, research is ongoing to develop nanotechnology-based systems that can detect multiple pathogens simultaneously or monitor chronic conditions over time. While current applications are focused on diagnostics and therapeutics, the modular nature of nanotechnology allows for repurposing. For example, nanoparticles used in the injections could be modified to deliver therapeutic agents for diseases like malaria, hepatitis B, tuberculosis, HIV, or to target specific tissues for treatment. However, using nanotechnology in the injections for purposes beyond their intended functions, such as long-term health monitoring via digital ID systems, raises significant ethical, privacy, and safety concerns. The long-term effects of nanomaterials in the human body, potential immune reactions, and data security risks associated with linking biological data to digital identities remain critical challenges that require a rigorous evaluation before such applications can be considered viable. And now you have to think, everyone's medical history, you know, is, would be tied to these digital IDs. So, in theory, if you were able to hack into a country's database with these medical records, with the, that's tied to these IDs, you have someone's, medical history, so I think it would make it easier to obtain that, because right now it's pretty guarded with all the HIPAA stuff. But I don't know, it's like tying it in with these ideas may not be, or tying it in with these IDs, with these digital IDs. I don't know, it's like a catch-22. I definitely see some positives in it, but obviously a lot of this stuff ends up in the wrong hands. So in summary, while nanotechnology in current injections was not designed for health monitoring or digital ID integration, its foundational capabilities suggest potential for future repurposing in diagnostics and personalized medicine, provided that safety, privacy, and regulatory standards are thoroughly addressed. Very interesting, how they acted like they had no idea what this nanotechnology could be used for, and all of a sudden it turns out it can be used to help identify, or it could be repurposed to use to identify illnesses and whatnot, just like I just went over. So also interesting, the whole 2020 thing, mandatory injections, 2025, 2026, it's these mandatory digital IDs. Anytime something's mandatory, be wary of it. There is a plan behind it. They're not making it mandatory for no reason. It's a reason behind it, and it's not the reason you think it is most of the time. So like I said, stage 1, 2020, stage 2 is the digital IDs. So first it was the injections, then it's the digital IDs, then I think it's going to be that big event. And they're going to tie everything together. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, now we can use this these digital IDs in combination with the nanotechnology from the injections, and they can loop it with this big event that happened, so they can put us all under one world, what. Now this is just my opinion, TikTok. I would love to know what you guys think in the comments, as always. And once again, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, share, and follow. But only if you're interested, because you never want to miss anything.